The Warriors dynasty is falling apart in front of our very own eyes. Gentlemen, it took a while, but the Warriors dynasty is finally over. This team is crumbling, and it's kind of weird to see. Like, I'm so used to the Warriors being the best team in the NBA or one of the best, but now they're just kind of garbage. There's a lot of reasons why the Warriors have been falling apart, like so many. I actually have a big ass list of things we have to talk about. Now, the first thing I think we need to get into is we are not here to blame Steph Curry. We are not here to criticize him. We're not here to talk shit about him. Steph Curry is not the reason this team has been bad. In fact, I don't want to see any negative comments underneath the video saying Steph Curry is the reason this team is failing. He's the only positive about this team besides maybe a couple role players, but that's about it. Truth be told, Steph Curry is the only thing keeping this team together, because if he was to leave tomorrow, this team would be completely done, probably a lottery team. Alright, now let's get into the real meat and potatoes. Klay Thompson, you are officially washed. Klay Thompson is someone that used to be one of the greatest shooters of all time, at least that's what a lot of people said. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson has had a very big downfall in these past couple years. And I get it, he did have those major injuries that honestly you could say messed up his career. Like, truth be told, Klay Thompson has not been the same player ever since that like 2-year span where he was out. But at the same time, Klay Thompson is kind of just being ignorant now. It's reported that this man is going to be asking for about $30 million this upcoming offseason because he's going to be a free agent. I even heard a rumor a while back that he said he wanted the max contract. I don't know how true that is. I hope it's not true, because Klay Thompson might not even be worth $5 million. With all due respect, the one thing that Klay Thompson can do, the one thing that made him good, he's no longer really good at. Also, he can be very unplayable at times for the Warriors, and that's obviously not going to help you. I know some people said you have to trade Klay Thompson, and quite frankly, I don't know if the Warriors are even going to do that. And I know for legacy reasons, because he was one of the Splash Bros. He's one of the greatest Warriors of all time. Unfortunately, legacy is not going to carry this team to a championship, and honestly, even a playoff spot if we're being realistic. Also, statistically, Klay Thompson is having the worst season of his career. This season, as of the time of recording this video, he is shooting about 34% from three, which is by far the worst percentage he's ever shot in his career. The second worst was in 2021, where he had his return year, but usually he's about a 41% three-point shooter. This year, there is a -7 difference. You not see how bad this man is shooting now. Like, I would get it if he was unplayable in a lot of other ways, but he could shoot the three and like, oh, he's still a good shooter. No, he's not a good shooter anymore. I mean, this man is statistically having the worst season, like overall, not just three-point percentage, overall since his rookie year. That just gives you context how bad this man has fallen off. Now, if we're going down the starting lineup, Andrew Wiggins has also been a player that is struggling for the Warriors. Statistically, just like Klay Thompson, he is having the worst season of his career ever, although he had never averaged 12 points per game in his career ever up until this point. And to be honest, I didn't even have to look at the stats to tell you that Andrew Wiggins has been doing bad. He just has not been the same at all. Like, he's not shooting the ball a lot. He's missing a lot more than he usually does. He'll have a couple good games every now and then, but it's very inconsistent. Like, he'll have some games where he drops 0 or 3 or 7 points, and then he'll have like a 29-point game, and then he's right back to being inconsistent. It's embarrassing to see, but he's not the player that Golden State once prioritized as a player. I mean, someone that is also known as one of the best two-way players in the NBA, he just has not been good on the defensive side. I know he's dealt with injuries in the past, but I don't think this excuses what's currently going on right now. I mean, I'm looking at the starting lineup, and it feels like every single player except Steph and Looney have been terrible this year. Now, of course, this wouldn't be a Warriors downfall video if I did not talk about Draymond Green. Oh my fucking god, I don't even know what to say anymore. Draymond Green is genuinely hurting his career. He's hurting the Warriors and literally everyone around him, including Rudy Gobert, Yusuf Nurkic, Steven Adams. He's hurt a lot of people in his career. I don't know why he did this to Nurkic. I could understand the Gobert thing because they have history, even though that doesn't justify it. I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do by hurting Yusuf Nurkic like that. At the time of recording this video, it was just announced that he is going to be suspended indefinitely, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. I'm guessing, and I said this on my podcast, The Starting Five, that it's going to be about 10 to 15 games. I don't see a situation where he gets suspended longer for that. I feel like the Warriors are doing crazy PR right now. I think it was reported that like he's going to go through some counseling, he's going to meet with the league and all this bullshit. Truth be told, I don't think Draymond Green is sorry, and if he tries to come out and say that, I'm going to think he's a liar. I feel like you give it maybe 30 games and Draymond Green will be back to doing his normal bullshit, which is constantly starting up stuff and fighting people for absolutely no reason. And I mean, statistically, don't even get me started on how bad Draymond Green has been as a player. Not only getting himself in trouble and his team in trouble, but just, playing basketball in general. He has not been good. So 3 of the key players on this Warriors Warriors team for, past years and obviously them winning the finals, they have not been good. And that is obviously not going to happen when more than half your starting lineup is either unplayable or just being a total fucking jackass. The reality is a lot of these guys are not producing the same way they used to, and especially guys like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. I mean, Draymond was the biggest reason why this defense used to be one of the best in the NBA. We all know them as a three-point shooting team, the team that made the three-point shot popular, but in reality, their defense was just as important. And Draymond Green, he used to be a great anchor on this defense. Unfortunately, as he's gotten older, he's just not the same guy he used to be, which is also why I think people are now no longer taking the shit that he does quite easily. It's unfortunate to see, but a lot of their older guys are just no longer good. But you might be saying, okay, the old guys aren't doing well, let's bring in the new guys. And the Warriors, they have some good young guys in their team, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podmitsky, I hope I said his name right. And two of those players, I really need to bring something up, and it's that Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, they're not being played at all. Even Brandon Pods, he's had pretty inconsistent minutes, and I don't like it whatsoever. Golden State is just not good with playing its young guys, and in reality, I think Steve Kerr has done a terrible job coaching this team, which that's also important. Steve Kerr is not that good of a coach. You might be saying, oh, he has the championships and all these cool things. In reality, he's just using the roster that Mark Jackson gave him. The reality is that Steve Kerr is not responsible for creating this team, he only helped balance it. But as we're starting to see, he's not really doing a good job at that. Truth be told, I love Steve Kerr as a player, as a person, but as a coach, I think he's an absolute joke, and I mean that with no disrespect. But I think Warriors fans are starting to agree with me at this point. And something I almost forgot to talk about was the entire Chris Paul move, which is something that a lot of people thought was going to be terrible, but in reality, it has been terrible. I'm sorry. But for one, I've looked at his numbers and they're absolutely terrible. And two, I haven't heard a thing about him this year. Even watching the game, I'm sorry, he's kind of just what he's always been, but on a way lower production scale. Especially with him coming off the bench, I just don't think that's where Chris Paul thrives the most. On paper, this is a good team and Chris Paul obviously added to that, but on paper isn't always what it seems like. Trust me, I'm a Suns fan. I would fucking know. But wait, maybe there's a way the Warriors can fix this and possibly come back from their slump. I mean, we're only in December. It's a very long season. But first, gentlemen, we just hit 20,000 subscribers, which, by the way, thank you so much. And I gave a big thank you at my last video, but I don't really have a number goal right now. Like, obviously, I was trying to hit 20K, but we already did that. So for just right now, if you guys enjoy the content, what I've been putting out lately, then man, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. It lets me know that you guys enjoy what I'm doing and that I'm doing something right. Also, do not be afraid to leave your feedback in the comment section. I genuinely take it to heart. Like, genuinely, your feedback helps make the channel and the content a lot better, so thank you. So realistically, there are only two ways this can end for Golden State. Either they keep the same team they have and they just let it die off until eventually they start a rebuild. Or B, if you want to save the situation they're in right now, you're gonna have to make a trade. Realistically, there are only a few players that I think should be safe from any trade talks, and that's Steph Curry, Kevon Looney, and then Brandon Podmitsky. Maybe Jonathan Kuminga, but I feel like he's an asset that you're probably going to need when it comes to a trade if you want to get a big time player. And two of those players that I've been hearing that are available are Pascal Siakam and Zach LaVine. Me personally, I think Siakam is the better move because he can bring you a lot defensively and obviously on the offensive side, while Zach LaVine is only just a scorer. He's a pretty solid scorer. Now, depending what Golden State is going to have to give up, it's probably going to be a lot, and I'm guessing it's going to involve guys like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. But I don't think you want to waste Steph Curry's talent because this man, I believe, is like LeBron, where he can play for years on end. Truth be told, Steph Curry is playing some of the best basketball in his career right now, and it's being ruined. I mean, we can see Steph Curry being pissed off at what's going on in Golden State right now. And I don't think he wants to request a trade from this team, but if that's what it comes down to, then, well, that's the unfortunate reality. But gentlemen, a team that is also falling apart right now is the Detroit Pistons. Yup, I put the Pistons and the Warriors in the same sentence. If you want to figure out why the Pistons are doing so bad, well, click the video right here.